Rodgers on Medfield.tv, and we're going to have a discussion about polo, and particularly a program that we have here in Medfield, Polo in the Country. Let me introduce my colleague that's here with me, Ted Eayrs. Ted is from Middleborough, Massachusetts. He's played polo for over 30 years all around the East Coast at a number of different locations. He also umpires polo and is an authority on polo in the sport. He's also a member of the Norfolk Hunt Club. And I live in Medfield. I've been here for 25 years, right across from the steeplechase course where the event took place. I'm a horseback rider and a competitor for the last 20 years. Ted and I are MCs at Polo in the Country. I do the general announcing and Ted does all the play-by-play descriptions of polo. Let me just say a word about the Norfolk Hunt Club that's sponsoring this event. It's one of the oldest continuously running fox hunts in the United States. Norfolk began drag hunting, which is a form of hunting in which there's no real live foxes, in 1895. We have about 165 members from all the surrounding communities. And one of the important purposes of the club, in addition to promoting the sport of fox hunting and other equestrian activities, is preservation and protecting open space. You're all welcome to come to some of these events. They happen every Tuesday and Saturday in the fall. And a very good one to go to is the Thanksgiving Day hunt. Just a word about open space, because this is a very important part of what the club is trying to do. And the steeplechase course where this takes place is a good example of open space in the area. The steeplechase field where this event is being held today is about 58 acres. Totally in the Medfield and Dover area, the Hunt Club has probably over 200 acres. The actual field that we're playing the polo game on is only about 8 acres, the upper field of the steeplechase course. And this is a relatively small field for polo, which is typically almost 3 times as large. Let me now turn it over to Ted to talk a little bit about the background of polo in this area, how it came to be here, how it got started, and why it has now become such a interesting and popular sport.
So, polo originated in 2 clubs, 2 country clubs, if you will, Myopia on the North Shore and Dedham. And of course, the Dedham Country and Polo Club speaks for itself. An inaugural game was played between these 2 clubs back in 1888. So it's been around for a long while. The Norfolk Hunt Club, interestingly enough, was started by members of the Dedham Polo Club who wanted some way to exercise their polo ponies in the off-season. Mm-hmm. So they began to scramble over walls and this sort of thing, and that's how the Hunt Club, which still continues today, got its start. The game that you're going to see is between quote-unquote Norfolk and Dedham, symbolizes these 2 organizations and their contribution to the preservation of land in the south of Boston. Polo itself has been around for a long time. It was brought to England from India back in the 1870s, and then almost immediately by a fellow named James Gordon Bennett, he brought it to the U.S. The first games were played in New York City in the winter of 1876, and then immediately that summer to Newport, Rhode Island. So Newport has a very long history with polo. Mm-hmm. So the game that you'll see, any game that you see of polo is a very historic sport. The origins go back thousands of years into Mongolia and China. Mm-hmm.
Ted, one thing that I've often been curious about is the connection between polo and the Norfolk Hunt Club, which is a hunting club. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if you have any perspective on how that actually took place.
Well, as I mentioned, the idea of schooling or exercising polo ponies in the winter basically led members of the Dedham Club to start fox hunting. and drafting hounds, et cetera, et cetera. I might add that I had a small role in that, because when I started hunting with Norfolk back in the 1990s, I hunted polo ponies. And some of the wonderful women of the club at the time raised an eyebrow or two at the idea of these horses out there without manes. But I assured them it was okay, that it was really part of the tradition, and I wasn't ordered off, so I guess it's guess it's remained all right.
What does it take to be a serious polo player? What kind of resources, time commitments, what kind of mentality do you have to be a polo player?
Well, if I had asked myself, or if someone had asked that question of an experienced polo player at the time I was getting into it, I probably never would have. But like any activity, I think, and the role of polo clubs really is to help people get into the sport, and that can evolve. If you're going to play a complete 6-period game of polo, you need a minimum of, let's say, 4 horses, which is to say you need 4 saddles, at least 4 bridles, and various, white breeches and this sort of thing. More than that, you need a lot of time in the saddle to get to understand the game itself. Polo is a very, very fast game. It's been described as hockey on horseback, and I think that's probably an accurate way to describe it. It is said, and I certainly would agree with this, that when you're committing a play, when you're doing something in polo, unless you know what you're going to do next at the same time, you'll be out of the play. It's that fast. Again, it's played at a gallop. It's a sport that's played at a gallop. The horses involved have to be able to stop, turn, change directions, push other players and their horses off the line of the ball. They have to do extraordinary things, and they have to do them very, very quickly. Now that requires horses that have a great deal of sense and control. It's not enough to have a fast horse. A fast horse will get you to the ball and way beyond the ball before you can count to 2. You need horses that are sensible, rock-solid animals, that have a good conformation, that will basically withstand the strains of the sport. And in terms of trying to find those horses, you need a lot of good luck.
Are there particular breeds that are better at that than others?
Well, the premier breed of polo pony would be the Argentine polo pony, and that's a cross between a native Argentine breed called a Criollo, not unlike our quarter horse, and a thoroughbred. By the same token, in this country, certainly back in the 20s and 30s, and even to the present, some of my string, for instance, are a quarter horse thoroughbred cross. You can play, there's an increasing desire to play with pure thoroughbreds, and that can work, but again, you've got to have a pretty sane thoroughbred to do it. They're not bred, they're bred for the go, but not necessarily for the stop.
Now, so you know that we've had this event, Polo in the Country, and this is an annual event. In fact, this is the 11th, I guess. This is the 11th year we've done it. And it grows in popularity every year, so we're getting more and more people to attend it. But there's a number of other polo events that are in this region, and I'm wondering if you could just comment on some of the other. If a person wants to see polo, where would they go?
Well, there are 2 very good locations for polo in Massachusetts and in southern New England. One would be the Myopia Hunt Club, which is up in Hamilton, Mass., north of Boston. That's a very, very old club. I mentioned the inaugural game between Myopia and Dedham back in 1888. That gives you an idea of how old that club is. And then the other venue would be Newport, Rhode Island, the Newport International Polo Series. I might add that at Myopia, the public games are Sundays at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. In Newport, they're Saturdays at 5. Polo season generally is the end of May to the end of September. Again, to see polo other times of the year, you'd need to go to either Aiken, South Carolina, which is another polo center, or to the Palm Beach area of Florida.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Ted. I think that's been very, very helpful. Hope that you've enjoyed it, this background on polo. Again, I'd like to welcome you to come to the next polo in the country, which will be next September, probably Sunday, September 14th, again at the Steeplechase Racecourse. And also, if you're interested in watching some of the drag hunt programs that's held on Tuesdays and Saturdays, you're welcome to come. They're a lot of fun. You meet a lot of people that come out for these. And again, we're trying to do much of this to support the preservation of open space in the area. And one of the things I'd like to just point out too that I think has been very important, and I know, Ted, you've been involved in it, is that to maintain this sport, and any of these equestrian sports, requires land. You have to have access to land. And one of the things that's been very important, I think, is the maintenance of a good relationship with the landowners. And the polo activities are part of that. I know, Ted, you've been very instrumental in starting some of the hunting activities down in Middleborough in your area. And we appreciate that very much. It's been very helpful. There's also been a number of new initiatives for hunting, and one of the areas that's become very attractive is down in Westport, Massachusetts, in the southern part of Massachusetts. So we want to thank the landowners for allowing us to use their property for these hunts. And Ted, again, we want to thank you very much for your comments and perspective about the sport of polo. Thank you.
Okay, the players on the side of the floor, I'd like to introduce the players to you. A few minutes to warm up, get used to the field. Jimmy Walker took the shot at it there, backed up slightly by Ken Clemens. Ray Todd has another shot at it. Carl's rolling down. Carl winds up, hits it again. Nice, solid run. All alone, Sam is. Hits it again. Nice, solid. Keep it tight here. Checks his horse, comes down for a nice, easy tap. Taps it once, taps it twice. He's coming up on it. He's all alone. Taps it forward again. He's coming up like that. Walker, right along. Through. He gets it. He gets that shot off. Ball bounces wide. Walker with a slight thing.
Hi, I'm Larry Kramer.
And I'm Andy Spencer.
We're from Rue 109, and you're watching
Medfield.tv.
Access to our community.